You are now listening to Audiobook, Judah Knight, Book 1. Written by author Douglas X. Narrated and musical composition by Douglas X. Judah Knight, Book 1, Chapter 1, Creation. On a quiet moonlit night, a small boy and his mother slept soundly in their bed, not of their own. The bright moonlight lit half of the room through the one window, and a cool night breeze came through the open window of the rundown country house. The rundown house sat across an unpaved dirt road from a very old black church with a vast graveyard. The boy and his mother was sleeping in that bed, his mother's sister's spare bed, because they had been evicted from their home. The boy's older brother had gone to stay with their father because there was not enough space for the whole family at his aunt's house. And his mother was pregnant with his future little brother. The little boy was sleeping soundly, but woke up when he heard someone call his name. Leon. Leon opened his eyes slowly to see an angelic spirit hovering over him. She was beautiful and astonishing in her glory, and she smiled at Leon. Leon became afraid and ducked under the cover. He shook his mom. Leon's mom said, "What, Leon?" "I'm trying to sleep. I have to go to work in the morning." Leon said, "Mom, look." Leon drew up the courage to come from under the covers, and his mother rolled over to see what he was talking about. Leon and his mother both saw the angelic spirit, and both screamed and hid under the covers. They both were so afraid that they stayed under the covers, shaking in fear, until they both fell back to sleep. The next morning, the whole family gathered in the living room. Leon, his mom, his aunt 9 daughters, normally gathered together on Sunday mornings before breakfast. Leon's mom told them what she and Leon had seen the night before. Everybody looked spooked. Some laughed, some believed, and some disbelieved. As the years went by, Leon never forgot what he saw. A couple of years later, Leon had grown to a 10-year-old little boy. At Christmas time, Leon's Uncle Lenny and his wife invited Leon to a Christmas program. Leon, Uncle Lenny, Lenny's wife, and their 2 children, Leon's cousins, drove to the Christmas program. See, there was something special about Leon, something his own family ignored or couldn't see. Even though Leon's family couldn't see, the Dark One, Prince of Lies and Sins, could see where Leon was. As the group drove back home from the church after the Christmas program, Leon sat in the back seat staring at the moon. He was full of the Holy Spirit, secretly talking to God, asking God questions about creation, because he was a curious child. All of a sudden, boom, a drunk driver ran into them head first. Leon's wife was ejected through the windshield while the steering wheel crushed Uncle Leon's chest, killing them both instantly. Leon was in the back seat with his 2 cousins. The impact of the crash threw them around the back seat like rag dolls. Then the car caught fire. The 3 kids trapped, screamed for help. The car burned from the front. The fire slowly crept to the back of the car. The 3 children hugged each other and closed their eyes, thinking it was all over. Leon prayed, "Most High Yah and Yahshua, please save us." Moments later, a good Samaritan pulled up and helped the 3 kids escape the burning car. You see, the devil is like a wicked puppet master. He had whispered in the drunk driver's ear earlier that night while the driver was at the bar, encouraging the man to continue drinking until he was too drunk to drive. The devil's dark whispers convinced the driver to drive home, causing the accident. The devil was trying to kill Leon, but why? You see, there was a time before Yah, another name for God. It was a time of complete darkness, what modern day humans call space. Imagine, look at the night sky. If you could take all the planets, suns, moons, and asteroids out, what's left? Nothing but the darkness that was before Yah. Humans look upon it every night, not knowing, not seeing. Everything but space can be measured, even if man has not created the tools to measure it. Space is infinite nothingness, and in that infinite darkness, Yah, the Most High, began. The Father was first a conscious thought in the darkness before he had form. Then a spark of light that formed into a particle of light 10 billion times smaller than an atom. He was a form of energy, the life force of good. Upon his creation, dark energy was also created at the same time. Yah did not create this evil. It was a byproduct of his own creation. Then the conscious particle of light, Yah, knew he needed form. Yah then formed a body of light, of good, of life. He formed his head, mouth, shoulders, torso, arms, feet, and eyes to see. You see, it was God who had the first humanoid form. It was his creation of himself, but the dark energy still existed. It grew in scale, but without form or consciousness. The Most High could see that the dark energy was wicked, destructive, and growing. His second creation was an orb to contain the dark energy so it would not grow anymore. Then it was Yah, and nothing else but the empty void of space and the orb of light that imprisoned the dark evil energy. After creating himself and a prison for evil, the Most High wondered what else he could create. Yah, hovering in the void of nothingness, then created a building block, the first atom. When the Most High spoke the word ground, the atom multiplied and formed a gold brick, then multiplied into a platform of gold bricks. The Most High descended to the brick platform, and he spoke again, "Stand." And like a child speaking his first word, every word the Most High spoke declared its creation. When God said throne, a throne formed in the middle of the gold brick platform. Then God spoke walk, and he walked to his throne. Sit, the Most High took a seat upon his throne. Yah sat upon his throne and pondered his own existence for billions of years in the void of space, the only light in the darkness. Then God spoke the word time, and time was created. He created stars above him, then set them in motion. Only God could create something so benevolent as a time clock of stars. Yah then pondered for 10 billion years, wondering if he could create another being like himself. And if he did, would more dark energy be created, like at the beginning of his own creation? Instead of creating another separate being from atoms, God drew life from himself and spoke Son to create Yahushua. Then God said, "My child, from my light, from my life," and Yahushua was created in the form of a baby. No other dark energy was created from his creation, since God drew him from himself, because God is good. Yahushua was the creation of creation. Yahushua, like a child on earth, had to learn to crawl, walk, and talk. As on earth, a child is of his father's flesh. Yahushua was son of Yah's life force. Yahushua grew and played a toddler at Yah's feet as he sat upon his throne on the gold brick platform with a clock of stars above. Yah then created a kingdom for himself and his son and filled it with glories to behold. He created diamonds and crystals to go with the gold to build his kingdom. But they were unlike any gold, crystals, and diamonds on earth. You see, the heavens were built out of the first Adam, or a higher Adam. The earth was built out of a lower Adam, or second Adam. Then Yah created angels to be friends to him and his son. But the angels were not of God's life force. They were created by the first Adam, and Yah breathed life into them. By this time, Yahushua had grown to look like a 5-year-old child by earth standards. So when Yah created the angels, he created all of them around his son's age of 5 years old, or 5 billion years old by heaven's time. Yahushua and one of the angels, Lucifer, became close friends. As Yahushua and the angels grew up, Yah created order, duty, structure, and a heavenly civilization. Yah created Yahushua and the angels to evolve in wisdom and knowledge slowly, as he did. But none of God's creation can ever grow to have the full wisdom of Yah, because he is the Alpha, the Omega, the soul of all existence. There was only the kingdom of Yah and the stars above the kingdom, and God's light illuminated his whole kingdom. Yah saw his kingdom was good, and all there ever was good. Within Yah's chamber, he still possessed the orb of light that imprisoned the dark energy. None of the angels knew what was in the orb, only Yah did. Some might ask, why did Yah not destroy the orb that imprisoned the dark energy? Nothing in creation can be destroyed. It can only transform into a different state. A burned down forest only turns into ashes. Evaporated water only turns into clouds. A God who creates will never truly destroy it. Evil can't imprison Yah, but Yah can imprison evil. Now, as time went on, Yahushua and the angels grew. By human standards, they looked to be in their 30s, and they all stopped aging. At that time, Yah wanted to create more than his kingdom, since his kingdom was all there was in the void of space. Yah told Yahushua of his plan to fill the void of space with an ever-expanding universe. Yah took Yahushua into a living vision so he could see. Yah showed Yahushua his vision to build a physical realm and to create man. He told Yahushua that his friend Lucifer would soon betray him. He told Yahushua how Lucifer would corrupt man. And he told him what sin was, since at that time, sin did not exist. Yah told him of the dark energy imprisoned in the orb, which Yahushua had always seen, but thought it just an orb. Yah told him of a great battle between Lucifer and himself, and how Lucifer would fall to the earth in his infancy. His impact would be like a great meteor, killing the original species he would create before man, the dinosaurs. Yah even showed Yahushua his own crucifixion. Chapter 2, The Pain of a Blessed Child. Back on Earth, Leon had grown to be 15 years old. He started to have dreams and visions. One night, the fast-growing teenager had a dream of the same angel he and his mom had seen at his aunt's house. He had never forgotten the night he saw the angel when he was younger. But this time, she was sitting on a bench in a forest that seemed to be on Earth, but Leon somehow knew it was on another plane or dimension of Earth. Leon looked upon the angel's face. She smiled at him. Leon also felt the wind blowing, but instead of the wind blowing around his body, it seemed to blow through him, through his soul. It felt like love. and the love was so strong that you couldn't even feel anything but love. Every time the wind blew, it seemed to charge Leon's soul with more love. Leon thought, "What is this?" The angel answered him without speaking. She said, "It is Yah." Then Leon woke up. He scratched his head. He knew that was the same angel he had seen as a child, but he wondered why she would appear in his dreams years later. By this time in Leon's life, his mother had bought a 4-bedroom house, and him and his brothers had their own rooms. Leon's mother was a single mom. She had divorced Leon's father when Leon was about 7. His father used to be his mom, so she left him. Leon and his family lived in an impoverished city plagued by gun violence and drugs. His older brother was a drug dealer and a gangster. Leon's father never came around, so his older brother T was his father figure. Leon looked up to T, who was about 6 years older than him. Leon was 15 and T was 21. At 15, Leon did not partake in street life. He played on the school basketball team and was an usher in church. Leon's brother T had a fierce reputation in the streets and was feared and respected. But Leon was different. His peers bullied him and made fun of him. One day on a school bus, Leon was sitting next to a girl named Lisa. It was the end of the school day, so the school bus was taking all the kids home. The school bus came to Lisa's stop, and she ran off the bus and left her purse. Leon grabbed her purse and told the bus driver that Lisa left her purse. So the bus driver opened the bus doors to let Leon off to give Lisa her purse back. Lisa hugged and kissed Leon on the cheek. The next day at school, during lunchtime, some other classmates told Lisa's boyfriend, who didn't ride the same bus as Leon and Lisa, that Leon was kissing Lisa on the bus the day before. He and his 2 friends walked up on Leon while Leon was eating. He took his backpack off, unzipped it, and showed Leon the gun he had inside his backpack. Then the boyfriend handed the backpack to one of his friends and started punching Leon. "Why are you hitting me?" Leon asked. "You were kissing my girl," the boyfriend said. Leon wanted to throw punches back, but he knew the guy had a gun and his 2 friends with him, so he didn't fight back. Lisa's boyfriend beat Leon up in front of everyone in the cafeteria. After the fight stopped, Leon laid on the ground bloody. When he stood up, the whole cafeteria burst out laughing. Embarrassed, Leon ran out the cafeteria to the gym, where he hid under the bleachers and cried. After a while, Leon's basketball coach heard what happened and found Leon under the bleachers. Although Leon had a hard school life, his home life was not much better. Leon's mom abused him mentally and physically, but did not do the same to his 2 brothers. You see, Leon's mom was superstitious and always thought him to be bad luck. When Leon was a baby, his grandmother would babysit him. She was very fond of her baby grandson. Leon would sleep in the bed with his grandmother when she was babysitting him. One day, Leon's mom came to pick him up from his grandmother's house after work. Leon's mom had a key to his grandmother's house, so she walked in and called for her mom. When no one answered, she figured her mother was probably asleep. She walked into her mom's room and saw Leon and his grandmother asleep. She shook her mom. "Mom, wake up. Help me pack Leon's things." But when she felt the coldness of her mom's body, she screamed. Leon's grandmother was dead. Her scream woke Leon, and he cried because she startled him. Later, the coroner said that the cause of death was old age. But ever since that day, Leon's mother viewed Leon as bad luck. Leon was beaten for any mistake he made growing up. Sometimes his mom would beat him for nothing. She made him do all the house chores, while his older and younger brothers barely had to do any. Still, Leon loved his mother dearly. Because of how Leon was treated, he felt that everything bad that happened to the family was his fault. Leon felt that he was a curse. Because of this, Leon went out of his way to please his family, but his mom and brothers mocked him. Leon cried himself to sleep many nights. His mom did things to him to let him know he was her least favorite. During the Christmas season, Leon's mom would ask her children what they wanted and make a list. Leon and his brothers were so excited come Christmas Eve because they knew that their mother would put their presents under the Christmas tree once they went to sleep. When Christmas morning came, Leon and his brothers woke up and ran to the Christmas tree. Leon's brother grabbed their presents. Leon looked for his presents, but there was nothing for him. His mom and brothers laughed at him. Leon said, "Mom, where's my present? I got your present right here." Nobody said anything. They just laughed at him. Leon gave his presents to his mom and ran out of the room crying. His bedroom window faced the backyard, so he climbed out of the window and ran into the forest behind his house. He knew his mom was punishing him for the car accident he was in with his Uncle Lenny. Leon looked upon the night sky crying and thanked God for the stars. Then a falling star fell from the sky 10 feet in front of him, the brightness blinding him. As the light of the meteor fizzled out, Leon wiped his tears and considered the meteor his Christmas gift from Yah. Leon had no friends through life and felt like a curse to his family. So he felt the only friends he had were Yah and Yahushua. So he would talk to them like friends, even when he was not on his knees praying. Leon fell asleep in the woods on a bed of leaves he made, cold and shaking, but preferring the cold of the Christmas night over dealing with his family. While he slept, shivering, he had a vision. In this vision, he witnessed a holy knight climbing a mountain, and at the foot of the mountain were people chasing him. People looked demonic. Their eyes glowed red. Their fingers extended to about 6 inches with sharp, claw-like tips. And they had bloody lesions all over their bodies. The blood from their lesions glowed red, and their ribs showed like they had been starved. The great knight held a sword which had a blade made of sky blue crystals emitting a glowing light. The holy knight had a sky blue crucifix on the front of his helmet. The crucifix started at the top of his forehead and extended to the bottom of his chin. The helmet covered his entire head but had no openings. His armor had a large blue crystal on the breastplate starting at the top of his chest and extending to his belt line. The knight also had small crystal crucifixes on his pauldrons and polions. The rest of the armor was silver white like the clouds, and there was a name written in vertical letters upon his back, starting at the top of his shoulders and stopping at his belt line. The glowing sky blue letters was in the oldest form of Hebrew and spelled the word Judah. As the sea of demons tried to climb the mountain to kill the knight, he struggled to reach the top. The holy knight reached the top of the summit and looked down upon a million evil, glowing red eyes. He raised his sword, calling upon Yah and Yahushua to empower him. Out of the night sky, lightning struck the sword, and the sword caught on fire, a blue fire. A great light extended outward from the night. Then Leon woke up and discovered a fawn sleeping right next to him. Leon was astonished that a fawn had slept next to him that whole night. As Leon stood, the fawn woke and ran into the woods. Leon did not know what to make of the vision or of the fawn. Like all his other visions, Leon chalked it up to just his imagination running away with him. Even when he thought of the angel he saw as a child, he asked his mom about it. She denied it ever happened. Chapter 3, Prodigal Son. Years passed, and Leon grew to be a 30-year-old young man. Leon had grown very cold-hearted. He was tired of his family mistreatment. He was tired of being bullied by people in his neighborhood. One night, he decided not to tolerate disrespect. If anybody tried him, even family, he decided he would fight back. Leon started to buy drugs from his older brother, Little T, and fell deep into the game. Sometimes in the streets, the prey becomes the predator. Poor Leon didn't even know that it was the Dark One manipulating his family to mistreat him. The Dark One who caused the car accident with his uncle and his family. The Dark One who caused people to bully him. The Dark One who drove his heart cold. Leon had fallen deep into Satan's trap and didn't have a clue how much the devil hated him. Leon grew to be feared in the streets, but still was not a killer. But people still knew that if you took it there, he would meet them there. Leon felt he was cursed, and he was right. But it wasn't just him. His whole nation were under the curses of Deuteronomy for their ancestors' disobedience to Yah. Curse 1. Cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. Deuteronomy 28:16. So true was Yah's word, because Leon's city was full of hate, murder, drugs, despair, vanity, and selfishness. Leon had stopped going to church and would only pray ever so often. Because of his life, he started to wonder if there was even a God. He would wonder this while he was selling drugs behind an abandoned gas station he nicknamed Gasland. Leon started to recruit people to help him move his drugs. The first two people he recruited was his cousin Slick and his childhood friend Troy. They called themselves Gas Gang. Leon started to get serious money and had dreams of buying the abandoned gas station. Gas Gang would take shifts at Gasland so each hustler could get rest because the money was coming in around the clock. One day, Leon's cousin Slick was on day shift when Leon's old schoolmate, Lisa, came to Gasland to buy some weed. Weed was the only thing that Gas Gang sold by Leon's instruction. "What up, Slick? How you been doing?" Lisa said. Slick said, "Trying to maintain the glow up." Lisa laughed. "I heard y'all all the way glowed up." Slick laughed. "You know, my cousin got a crush on you." "Crush like y'all crushed my ex-boyfriend's head?" Slick looked surprised that she knew it was them. Leon had never forgot how Lisa's boyfriend beat him up in school. So once Leon grew up, he got revenge on Lisa's boyfriend. Leon bumped into him in a club parking lot and pistol whipped him screaming, "What up now? This my city." It's Gas Gang era now. Lisa had broken up with her ex years before Leon caught up with him in the club parking lot and laid down law. "Tell him to call me. Here's my number," Lisa said. "Y'all gonna make me the godfather of y'all, baby?" Lisa laughed, got her weed, and left. Later that day, when Leon pulled up to relieve Slick of his shift, Slick told him, "Lisa pulled up. I got her number for you." "What you mean?" "I told her you had a crush on her, and she gave me a number to give to you." "That's what's up, fam." Leon smiled and got the phone number from Slick. Leon couldn't wait to call Lisa. He always had a secret crush on her but never approached her. Although he was nervous, he still called her. By this time, Lisa made it home. Her phone was ringing. She picked up. "What up, babe? Heard you were begging Slick to take your number to get at me," Leon said. Lisa laughed. "No, I heard you told Slick to beg me for my number to get to you." They both laughed and had a long conversation. At the end of the conversation, Leon asked Lisa on a date, and she said yes. Slick and Leon were sitting in a car at the back of Gasland while he was on the phone with Lisa. Unbeknownst to them, Satan had taken the form of a crow and was secretly watching them from a tree branch above. Later that week, Leon and Lisa went out to dinner at Lisa's favorite restaurant. They talked, laughed, and got to know each other on a personal level. The more Leon learned about Lisa, the more infatuated with Lisa he became. "You sure have changed a lot since we was in school," Lisa said. "How?" Leon asked. "You was a nerd." Leon laughed. "Nerd? Don't nerds make good grades? 'Cause all I made was C's and D's." "Well, you were a dumb nerd then," Lisa said. Leon laughed. Leon, looking upon Lisa's beauty, admiring her eyes, her smile, her hair, her intelligence, thought to himself, "I want to make her my girl." He mustered up the courage to ask her, "Guess what?" "What?" "You my new girlfriend." Lisa laughed. "Guess what?" "What?" "You my new boyfriend." Then Leon went in for a kiss. At first, Lisa acted like she was finna kiss Leon, but then she put her hand between both of their puckering lips. "No, no, no, I'm not that easy." Leon, looking surprised, couldn't help but laugh at Lisa. "At least I got you to be my girlfriend." Lisa smiled. "You did." By the end of the dinner, the couple was gushing with their newfound love. About 6 months passed, and Leon and Lisa's love had blossomed. They loved each other deeply, but had not consummated their relationship because Lisa was still a virgin. Lisa had always wanted to give herself to her husband. She had watched the women in her family run from one man to the next, ending up with a bunch of children with different fathers. She saw them age and end up single, broken, scarred, and alone. She vowed to herself that she would not end up like them. She would find the right man, marry him, and then have children. She and Leon had many discussions about the subject, and Leon never pressured her to go back on her beliefs. It just made Leon cherish and honor her more. As Leon and Lisa's love blossomed, Lisa's ex-boyfriend Marcus' hatred grew, and grew. Leon and Lisa's love was not a secret in their city, so Marcus knew Leon and Lisa were a couple. He hated Leon so, but his hatred had helped growing in his heart. The devil had been planning to destroy Leon and Lisa's love from its inception, and he assigned a demon to Marcus. Each day and night, the demon whispered in Marcus's ear, "You gonna let Leon pistol whip you and take your girl? You have lost all your respect in the hood. Leon has taken everything from you." Poor Leon. There was no other man walking on Yah's green earth that the Dark One wanted to destroy more than Leon. Curse 10. The Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. Deuteronomy 28:25. As Leon's street business and love life grew, so did the attention from the police and the streets. One day, Leon called a meeting at Gasland with Slick and the rest of the hustlers. Leon knew that they were being watched by the FBI and by robbers, so he decided to have 2 hustlers on each shift instead of 1, so each hustler would watch the other's back. He also decided that he and Slick would take a shift together since Slick was the only one he truly trusted to have his back. Leon also announced to Gas Gang that he had bought the abandoned store, nicknamed Gasland. His big brother Lil T will be joining the organization and will start installing camera systems and motion detectors for their protection. Leon wanted the gang to stop carrying weapons at the spot in case they were raided by the FBI. Instead, he decided to put 2 gang members across the street from Gasland with weapons and a drone to be lookouts and security. Leon then announced that they had hired construction crews to start remodeling Gasland into a clothing store, and no gang member was allowed to hustle when the construction crews were on the property. Leon also reminded the gang, "We are not a violent gang, because violence brings unnecessary heat." Deep in Leon's heart, he just didn't want to hurt anybody. And he knew selling weed was bad enough. When he finished speaking, everybody screamed, "Gas Gang." Meanwhile, at FBI headquarters, a special agent by the name of Agent Myers was assigned to investigate Leon and his gang. Agent Myers was the son of a police chief who secretly belonged to a radical racist group called the Sons of Light. Although Agent Myers never joined the radical racist group, his beliefs were rooted in their ideologies. Agent Myers was groomed by his father to put his race above all other races and to worship Satan and not Yah, because Satan ruled the earth, not Yah. Agent Myers and his father believed that by worshiping the Dark One, they will be blessed by the sword to rule the world until the coming of their father, Satan. The Sons of Light wasn't a new organization. It was centuries old and had secretly infiltrated all forms of government all over the world for centuries. Leon was surrounded by the Dark One's minions and had no clue what the devil had in store for him. Agent Myers received a file on Leon, which contained all of Leon's drug associates, friends, family, hangouts, and enemies. In this file was information about Lisa's ex-boyfriend, Marcus, and the altercation between Leon and Marcus at the club. Leon had not been arrested for the crime against Marcus because Marcus had not filed charges. But the FBI knew about the incident because it had been surveilling Leon for quite some time. The FBI had pulled the cameras from the club, so it had plenty of evidence to arrest Leon, but decided to wait until his agents could gather more intel on Leon to build a stronger case. Agent Myers started to investigate Marcus and found that he was a convicted felon. While Agent Myers was contemplating on how to take down Gas Gang, the Dark One appeared in his office. But he was invisible to Agent Myers. The Dark One whispered in his ear, "Use Marcus to take down Leon, for who would be better?" Agent Myers, thinking it was all his idea, devised a plan with a devilish smirk upon his face. Weeks later, Marcus stopped at a corner store to fuel up his car. As he left the store, the police got behind him and threw on their lights. Marcus pulled over. Nervous, he put his shaky hands on the steering wheel, watching the 2 officers approaching the rearview mirror. One went to the left of the car, one went to the right of the car. The officer on the left side asked, "May I see your license and registration?" As Marcus turned to hand the officer his credentials out of the driver's side window, the officer on the right opened the passenger door and placed a handgun and heroin on the passenger seat while Marcus wasn't looking. Marcus heard the door open but was afraid to make any sudden movements, so he kept his eyes fixed on the officer on the driver's side. The officer said, "Get out of the car, sir, and put your hands behind your back." When Marcus got out of the car, the officer handcuffed him and walked him to the front of the squad car. Marcus asked, "Officer, what did I do?" The first officer didn't reply. The second officer, pretending to search Marcus's car, said, "Look at what I found." He held a handgun and drugs in the air as he walked from Marcus's car. That's not mine. I'm a felon. I have no guns and drugs. Y'all lying, Marcus said. The officer laughed, put Marcus in the squad car, and took him to jail. They threw Marcus in a jail cell by himself, denied him phone access, and denied him food for 4 days. Marcus, suffering in his jail cell, wondered what to do. He knew that he was set up and was being treated unjustly. He began to bang on his cell door until his hands became bloody and screaming, "I need food." "And where's my phone call?" No one answered. Marcus's cell had no mattress, and he also had no blanket. Unbeknownst to Marcus, the devil was in the cell the whole time, laughing and enjoying his suffering. It was almost as if the devil was feasting on his pain and suffering. As Marcus tired from screaming, he curled up on the floor, shivering, and fell asleep. As he slept, he heard a guard call him. "Hey, inmate." Marcus awoke. "Someone wants to speak to you," the guard said. Opening Marcus' cell door, the guard took Marcus down a long hallway into an office. Sitting there waiting on him was Agent Myers. "Have a seat, Mr. Wright. Or do you prefer I call you Marcus?" Agent Myers said. "You could just call me Marcus." "Well, Mr. Wright, you are facing some serious time. 40 years, to be exact." Agent Myers then proceeded to offer Marcus a deal. "But if you can give me a hand in a matter concerning your friend Leon, maybe I can get your sentence reduced." "Give you a hand?" Marcus said. "I'm innocent. I shouldn't even be in here. I was framed." Agent Myers laughed. "Do you plan on telling the judge that? How many times a day you think he hears that excuse?" Marcus began to tremble as he looked into the uncompassionate eyes of the agent, who was staring at him as if he was just a monkey. "I don't have all day. It is a yes or no answer," Agent Myers said. Marcus, believing he had no other choice, agreed to help Agent Myers. About a month later, Leon and Slick were working the night shift at Gasland. Gasland was still under construction, being remodeled into a clothing store. While the two cousins were sitting in Leon's car, Leon pulled out a small black box. "What's that?" Slick asked. "It's an engagement ring. I'm going to ask Lisa to marry me, and I want you to be the best man." Slick, looking surprised, said, "Only under one condition." "What's that?" "I will be the best man only if you hook me up with Lisa's cousin." Leon laughed so hard he couldn't contain himself. Slick couldn't believe that Leon was ready to jump the broom so early in life. He was just 30. "Speak of the devil," Slick said. "There go Lisa pulling up." "What? She didn't even tell me she was coming up here," Leon said. "You might have you a future stalker." Leon laughed. "Don't tell her. I want to wait to propose." "Fam, when I ever been a snitch?" "It's in the vault," Slick said. Lisa parked her car and walked up to them. "You want the front seat?" Slick asked. "Nah, I'll sit on the back seat." "What are y'all doing?" Lisa said. Leon and Slick laughed, saying, "Selling drugs," simultaneously. Leon turned to look at Lisa. "What up, babe? What's the surprise visit?" "I was just missing you." As the three talked, Agent Myers was parked down the street in an undercover car with Marcus. Agent Myers started going over his plan with Marcus, telling him how he wanted him to approach Leon. Marcus was uneasy with the plan because he had never been to Gasland. He and Leon weren't cool. "Do you think Leon might think something's up? We got bad blood. What if he tried to kill me?" "I thought you might bring that up," Agent Myers said. Here's a revolver. If anybody tries to kill you, you have my permission to defend yourself. Marcus got out of the undercover car, nervously walking to Leon, Slick, and Lisa. Slick spotted Marcus in the rearview mirror as he approached and grabbed the gun that he had concealed on his waistline. Leon said, "What's that? I told you no guns." "Whatever, fam. Look, it's Marcus." Lisa and Leon both turned and looked. Marcus walked up to the driver's side of the car where Leon was sitting. "What up, fam? I need that work." "We ain't got no work. Go on about your business," Leon said. "I know you got it, dawg." Slick started to get upset that Marcus wouldn't leave. "You heard what he said, kick rocks." "Make me leave," Marcus said. Slick jumped out of the car, pointing his weapon at Marcus. Marcus ducked by the front car tire for cover and started blindly firing his weapon at Slick, hitting him in the head. "Slick!" Leon cried. By this time, Lisa had ducked down on the back seat. Leon crawled from the driver's seat and out the passenger door to help Slick and retrieve his weapon. "Lisa, run!" he said as he retrieved Slick's gun from his bloody hand. Marcus, seeing Leon trying to get the weapon, quickly moved from the driver's side toward Leon, who was on the passenger side front tire with Slick's body. Leon tried to shoot back, but Marcus had already aimed and pulled the trigger. Lisa screamed, "No!" and jumped in front of Leon, taking the bullet for him. As Marcus realized he shot Lisa, not Leon, he froze in disbelief. Lisa fell into Leon's arms, holding her. Leon looked at Marcus. "You killed Lisa and my cousin." Tears ran down his face as he kneeled in a pool of blood. "I didn't mean to shoot her. I didn't mean to do it," Marcus said. Then he ran away. Leon, holding Lisa, screamed, "God help Lisa." Lisa said, "Leon, I love you." Leon went into his pocket and grabbed the engagement ring. "Stay alive, Lisa. Breathe." He held the wedding ring in her face as she faded in and out. "I will marry you." "The answer is yes," Lisa said. Leon put the ring on her finger as she took her last breath. Leon then laid her body next to Slick and called 911. Leon stayed crying over their bodies, waiting on help to come. Not even trying to get away. Not even trying to get rid of the drugs. While Leon waited for first responders, Marcus ran back to Agent Myers' vehicle. "They tried to kill me. I had to shoot," Marcus said. Agent Myers said, "Calm down. Where are they now?" "They still at Gasland." "Get in the car and give me that weapon." Marcus jumped in the car and handed the weapon to Agent Myers. Agent Myers then drove to Gasland to see what had happened. As he got out of the car, he told Marcus to come with him. They both approached Leon, still crying over his loved ones in a pool of blood. Agent Myers said, "Leon, I am an FBI agent. Do you have any weapons?" "I need help. I have called 911, but they're taking forever. Please help me," Leon replied. Agent Myers put his hands on the grip of his sidearm. "Son, do you have any weapons?" "Yes." "Slide the gun to me." Leon slid the weapon, soaked in Slick's and Lisa's blood, to the agent. Agent Myers put gloves on to pick up the weapon. "What happened?" he asked Leon. Leon remained silent. Marcus was still standing next to Agent Myers, looking confused about why he had him get out of the car. Agent Myers then turned to Marcus and shot him in the head. Then he emptied the clip shooting Marcus in the chest as Marcus' already lifeless body fell to the ground. Leon, still kneeling in a pool of blood, froze with fear as he watched the dirty agent murder Marcus in front of him. "Thank you, Marcus, for your service," Agent Myers laughed as he walked toward Leon with Slick's empty gun, which he had just murdered Marcus with. As the agent approached him, Leon kissed Slick and Lisa on their foreheads. The agent stood over Leon as he kneeled, and Leon bowed his head in defeat. Agent Myers dropped Slick's empty gun next to Leon. "You are under arrest. Lay down and put your hands behind your back." Myers made Leon lay on his stomach between the two bodies and put his hand behind his back. Then Myers handcuffed him and made him lay in a pool of Lisa's and Slick's mixed blood. Leon said, "I have cameras. You gonna pay for this?" "No," Agent Myers said. "Don't you remember that construction crew you hired? One of those workers was one of my guys. I can watch your camera feed. I can turn your cameras on and off. So guess, Leon, do you think they are on or off?" Agent Myers laughed as he showed Leon's last week's camera feed from his app on his smartphone. Then he walked back to Marcus's body and dropped the gun that Marcus used to kill Slick and Lisa next to Marcus. Leon, laying there handcuffed, lifted his head to look at the agent. After settling the murder scene, the agent turned to stare back at him for a moment that seemed to be an eternity to Leon. As they stared at each other, a black crow flew from a tree branch above, calling 6 times. It flew away into the light of the super blood moon sitting in the darkness of the starless night. Chapter 4, Campaign of Evil. As Leon's life came crashing down on him, his Messiah, Yeshua, watched from the heavens above with pain in his heart. He wanted to intervene, but had been told not to by his father, Yah. The Most High's wisdom is infinite and beyond any creation on earth and in the heavens. Yah wanted all the children of Israel to feel the weight of their own sin, to reap the fruit of their harvest. For the seeds you plant will be the fruit you shall eat. The prophecy says that Yah and Yeshua will gather the lost children of Israel from the 4 corners of the earth after their 400-year punishment under the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 for disobeying God's words. So true is Yah's words. You see, as Leon sat in the jail going through his judicial process, it was also the final year for the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Leon, like all other black males in spiritual Babylon, more commonly known as America, was tricked into sin by his oppressors. They did not know that they were Yah's chosen children. They did not know their history. They did not know they were Hebrew. They lived like rats in a maze with multiple paths, but all paths lead to death and destruction, with only poisonous cheese as the gift for completing the maze. Leon waited in jail for his arraignment, which was approaching soon. He sat in his cell alone, watching a small TV he had bought from an inmate who had just been released. Worrying about what would happen to him, he flipped through the channels to find something to make him laugh and forget about his problems for a moment. A commercial came on. To Leon's surprise, it was Agent Myers announcing his run for President of the United States. Leon's mouth dropped. Myers had used Leon's arrest as a political tool to jumpstart his campaign for president. Leon, filled with anger, picked up his TV and threw it against the wall, destroying it. He paced back and forth in his small cell, screaming through the cell bars, "You people are devils." After a few minutes of Leon's outburst, 3 jail guards came into his cell and started to beat him. As they beat Leon, he laughed because the physical pain did not outweigh the pain in his heart from losing Lisa and Slick. After all, he felt as though their deaths was his fault. The jail guards then dragged Leon to the hole, a cold, dark cell with no windows, no light, no mattress, and no bed linen. They threw his bloody body into his new dungeon and slammed the door. As Leon lay there in complete darkness, he heard a voice say, "I can help you." "Who are you?" Leon asked. The voice replied, "The devil." Leon laughed in disbelief, thinking it was just another inmate. "I can prove it to you," said the devil in the darkness. "Prove it then." For a split second, the pitch-black cell lit up, with the devil surrounded by demons and fire, and then everything went back to darkness. Leon screamed like a lion preparing for battle, praying to Yah and Yeshua in the darkness of the hole. From the darkness, Leon heard the voice speak again. "They can't hear you, but I can hear you, Leon. I can be your God, Leon. I can release you from your prison. I can give you the riches of the world. Just bow to me." Leon stood to his feet in the darkness and balled up his fists, preparing for certain death because of his answer, and said, "No." From the heavens, Yeshua watched Leon say no to the devil, and he remembered when the devil tried to tempt him when he walked the earth in his first coming. Yah said to him, "My son, you have chosen wisely. He is the one. He will be to you as you are to me. He is the new Elijah." Now Yeshua could see why Yah didn't let him intervene earlier. Yah knew that the devil would try to recruit Leon, and Leon had to make his final choice. You see, only the Most High exists outside of time, since He created time. Everything else exists in time, including Yahushua. For others to be able to know the future or prophecy, God sent His word through Yeshua, angels, or the Holy Spirit, for Yah is the author of life and creation. As Leon lay in the darkness of his cell, beaten, scared, and confused, he fell into a deep sleep, desiring to see Lisa smile again and to hear Slick's laugh again. While sleeping, Leon had a vision. He was walking through the desert in a caravan, but not in present day. He was in biblical times. He was a child, and a man was holding his hand as they walked through the sands of the moonlit desert, with hundreds of people following them. Leon looked up as the man looked down at him. Leon could see the universe in his eyes. The man was of African descent, dark-skinned, with a black beard and short hair. At that moment, Leon realized he was the Messiah, Yeshua, the Christ. And he started to tremble at the power within the man's eyes. He was so afraid, he jumped up from his sleep and started to pray, asking for forgiveness for his sins for his entire life. As Leon prayed in the darkness, wondering if what he just experienced, seeing the devil in his cell and seeing the Messiah in the dream, was real, he heard his cell door open. It was a jail guard letting Leon know it was time for his arraignment. The guard then handcuffed Leon and transported him to court. At his arraignment, Leon had a court-appointed attorney because they did not allow him to use the jail phone to make calls to find a lawyer, which was illegal. As the court process started, Leon sat handcuffed with a look of disgust on his face. He knew he had been set up. Leon's attorney then leaned over and whispered in his ear, "If you plead not guilty, you will get the death penalty if you lose that trial. The state prosecutors will make sure of that. But if you take the guilty plea, you are looking at 25 years to life." Leon, looking at all the people in the courtroom, noticed he was the only black person there. "All rise," said the bailiff. Leon rose to his feet with his court-appointed attorney as the judge walked in. "The Honorable Judge Richards presided," said the bailiff. "You may all sit," said the judge. Leon looked at the judge, wondering if he should plead not guilty, when he noticed that the judge had a tattoo on his index finger. Leon had a good memory, and he could recall Agent Myers' campaign commercial. All of a sudden, he remembered Myers had the same tattoo on his index finger. Leon was struck with paranoia like lightning. He started to look at everyone's index finger in the courtroom and realized his very own court-appointed lawyer had the same tattoo on his wrist, partially hidden under his watch's wristband. The judge noticed Leon put it together and looked at Leon under his glasses with a sly smile. Leon knew at that moment that they all were connected somehow, but he didn't know that they all belonged to the Sons of Light. You see, Myers also joined the Sons of Light right before he put in his presidential bid. Leon, feeling like he had no out, told his attorney to put in a guilty plea, and he would take the plea deal. "How do you plead?" said the judge. Leon's attorney said, "My client will plead guilty and take the prosecutor's plea deal." The judge banged the gavel 6 times. "So saith the court." Poor Leon bowed his head in defeat, for his life was now over. He was taken back into custody. As Leon was being walked out, he asked his attorney if he could get a phone call. The attorney told the guards to give him a phone call before they would put him back in his cell. Leon, feeling like all was lost, just wanted to hear his mother's voice again. He never was able to contact his family since the night of his arrest due to the corruption of the judicial system. The guard took Leon to a jailhouse phone and he called his mom, dialing nervously. "Hello," said Leon's mom. "Hey, Mom." "Leon, why are you calling me?" Leon said, "'Cause you are my mom, and I'm in jail." "I know you in jail, and you deserve to be. You got Slick killed. I hope you die in there." "Mom, I didn't get him killed. Where's my brother T? I need y'all help." "Stop lying," his mama said. "T don't want to talk to you neither. Don't call us ever again. You are not my son anymore." Then she hung up the phone. Deep down, Leon knew his family would turn their backs on him. Yet, he still tried. Then the guard asked Leon, "Do you want to call someone?" Leon said yes and tried calling his father, but his father wouldn't even pick up the phone. Leon could barely stand due to the weight of the pain in his heart, and he asked the guard to take him back to his cell. He thought the guard would take him back to his old cell. Instead, the guard took Leon back to the hole, back to his dungeon. Leon wondered why he was being thrown back in the hole, and he asked the guard. The guard laughed as he opened his dungeon door and removed his shackles. "Don't worry, "I brought you a friend this time," said the guard, as he threw in a rope tied in a noose. "You are to serve your time in here," the guard laughed as he slammed the dungeon door. Leon stared at the noose with the devil whispering in his ear, "Kill yourself. Release yourself from your pain." Day in, day out, the devil played with Leon's thoughts as Leon sat in his dungeon for years, thinking he was losing his mind. During Leon's imprisonment, Myers won the United States presidential election. During his term, the world started to fall deep into chaos. America, a nation born of slavery and genocide, fell deep into sin and started to rebel against God, holding its luxuries, idols, corporations, technology, weapons, and money as God. Within the nation, so lived the lost children of Judah, the lost children of Israel, who did not know their identity because it had been erased by their slave masters after the Atlantic slave trade. The lost tribes were descendants of the slaves of Egypt, who were led out of bondage by Moses and the power of Yah during the Exodus. After the Exodus, the Hebrew children, chosen by Yah to be the light unto the Gentiles, disobeyed Yah again and again for generations. As it was written, Yah sent his only begotten Son, Yahushua, the Messiah, to die upon the cross for the sins of Yah's chosen children. Yahushua prophesied before his crucifixion of the coming Son of Man, a future man who will be more powerful than any man upon the earth. Upon the coming Son of Man, the world will know that Yahushua will come back soon after. And then the kingdom of Yah. Yahushua prophecy foretold that the Son of Man will come at the end of the 400-year punishment of Yah's chosen children. This chosen one will gather the lost children of Israel and deliver them from their oppressors, as the daughter of Babylon started to fall from the plagues of Yah and war due to her sins and her mistreatment of Yah's children. The end-time Son of Man, the hidden servant, the third Elijah, the watchman, will deliver the lost tribes to New Zion to meet their Messiah, Yahushua. For it is written, John 15:20 says, "Remember the word that I spoke to you. No servant is greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you as well. If they keep my word, they will keep your word as well." Matthew 24:45-47 says, "Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his master hath made a ruler over his household, to give them bread in due season? Blessed is that servant, who his master when he cometh shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he, the master, shall make him the servant ruler over all goods." Isaiah 49:5-6 says, "And now the Lord says, He who formed me in the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob back to him and gather Israel to himself. For I am honored in the eyes of the Lord, and my God has been my strength," he says. "It is too small of a thing for you to be my servant, to restore the tribes of Jacob and bring back those of Israel I have kept. I will also make you a light for the Gentiles, that my salvation may reach the ends of the earth." Chapter 5. To He Who Overcomes. During Leon's first 3 years of imprisonment, Yah set forth wrath upon the daughter of Babylon, as earthquakes, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, and volcanic eruptions. The people of Babylon explained away the phenomenon as global warming, but it was not global warming. It was the birth pains of judgment soon to come. The 7-year tribulation of Yah's wrath was prophesied to start at the end of Yah's chosen children's 400-year punishment, which was also the first year of Leon's imprisonment. During Leon's imprisonment, he started to have more visions compelling him to change his sinful ways, change his heart, and replenish his soul. Leon started to use a combination of prayer and meditation to connect back to Yah and Yahushua. His goal was to never sin again, but every day he fell short. As the world started to unravel, President Myers' re-election campaign was on the way. During Myers' first term, the Dark One planted seeds of dissent between Myers and his vice president. President Myers and his vice president didn't see eye to eye. Myers wanted to destroy the enemies of New Babylon by war, and the vice president wanted to use diplomacy and covert tactics. Myers, being conceited and contentious, did not want any member of his cabinet second-guessing his decisions, so he decided to choose a different running mate, one more in line with his ideals for his re-election campaign. Myers turned to the secret organization, the Sons of Light, for help finding a new running mate within the satanic organization. The Grand Masters of the Satanic Order decided to call a meeting of all American members of the order. They performed a ritual sacrifice of innocent blood to the Baphomet demon for helping in choosing Myers' new running mate. The Sons of Light was a variant of an old order. It was an extension of the Knights Templar, which was thought to have disbanded during the medieval times 700 years prior, but did not disband. The organization only went underground, changing its name to the Sons of Light. During the Inquisition of the Knights Templar, the members posed as Knights of God, but were secretly a satanic organization. For centuries, Satan had blessed this organization and its members, which included scientists, religious leaders, presidents, kings, dictators, and military generals with secret knowledge on technological advances in weaponry, infrastructure, military tactics, manipulation of atoms, and physics and sin. But it was not the only group or civilization blessed by Satan in history. He also blessed ancient Egypt and ancient Babylon. Satan blessed the world with knowledge of death, and Yah blessed the world with knowledge of life. And it is man's choice to choose between life or death. As the satanic ritual began, all men in attendance had only one lit candle apiece. The number of men in attendance was 666. All these men began to chant in an ancient demonic language, praising Satan and begging the Dark One to choose one member of the order to be vice president. The order then placed an innocent black child they had kidnapped on an altar. Her hands and feet had been bound. The order chanted their demonic language louder and louder. The Grand Master of the order then raised a knife and stabbed the child in the chest, cutting her heart out as she screamed in agony. The Grand Master raised her heart into the air, professing his love for Satan. At that moment, all the men's candles blew out except for one. The one man with the lit candle was now the vice president-elect. Days later, the order contacted President Myers and told him who his new running mate was to be since he hadn't attended the ritual. Due to his status as president, he did not want to arouse suspicion. Meanwhile, Leon sat in his dungeon, praying to the Most High for strength to overcome his sin. He felt a strong spirit of righteousness coming into his heart, so strong it brought him to tears. As the tears ran out of Leon's closed eyes, down his cheeks, he kept his eyes closed, not wanting to break the spiritual trance of prayer to the Most High. Leon prayed and prayed, longer than he had ever prayed in his life, begging for forgiveness, begging for the Most High to correct him and to mold him into a righteous man. Well into the 5th hour of his constant prayer, he never asked Yah or Yahshua for freedom from his imprisonment. He just wanted to be molded into a man worthy of the Most High's kingdom. Leon also prayed for his lost loved ones, Lisa and Slick. He prayed for his mom and brothers. He prayed for all the oppressed black people. During the 7th hour of his prayer, Leon's eyes still closed to maintain the spiritual trance of prayer, then heard a growl. Leon opened his eyes. Across from him in his lightless jail cell was a lion. Leon was instantly struck with fear as he looked into the lion's glowing white eyes. He was still crouching on his knees. Before Leon could do anything, the lion ran toward him and pounced on top of him, knocking Leon flat on his back. Lying flat on the floor with a lion standing with 2 paws on his chest, Leon trembled with fear. He was face to face with a lion. As the lion looked into Leon's eyes, he screamed in panic, thinking the lion was going to devour him. The lion let out a great roar right in Leon's face. As the lion roared, a great blue fire started to come out of his mouth. The blue fire traveled from the lion's mouth to Leon's mouth as he screamed. The blue inferno continued, transferring from lion to Leon for several moments, to the point that Leon could not scream anymore because his mouth was engulfed with fire. As the flames consumed Leon's mouth, they started to consume his body from the inside, but Leon did not feel as though he was burning. He began to feel powerful, so powerful he began to cry. As he cried, the lion finished warm fire, closed his mouth, and stepped off Leon's chest. The lion walked to the other side of the cell and turned to Leon as Leon began to stand. They stared at each other, then the lion transformed into an orb of light and flew away. Leon could feel power racing through his veins. As Leon stood in his cell in amazement, he heard a woman's voice call his name from behind. Leon turned around and saw an angel. Leon immediately knew it was the angel who he saw when he was a little boy living at his aunt's house all those years ago. "You have been chosen, Leon," said the angel. "You have been chosen by Yah and Yahshua, for it is written." "Who am I?" said Leon to the angel. As Leon spoke his question to the angel, he felt a hand being placed on his shoulder from behind. "You are my son," said the voice. Leon turned around and it was Yahshua. Leon quickly fell to his knees. He knew that this man was Yeshua, the Son of Yah, the Most High. Leon, filled with fear and joy, bowed to the ground until his forehead hit the floor. "Forgive me, Master Yeshua," said Leon with a trembling voice. Yeshua placed his hands on the back of Leon's head as he bowed in submission. "I have heard your prayers, Leon. You are forgiven, and you will never sin again. In the name of my Father Yah, Alpha and Omega, you are absolved of the burden of sin forever and forever." As Yahushua finished his prayer and raised his hand from the back of Leon's head. A light blue crystal-like substance started to form where the Lord's hand had been. The light blue crystal liquid started to engulf Leon's entire body, forming an armor around him. Yahushua said, "You are the chosen to bear the armor of God, for you are stronger than any man, and no weapon on earth created by man can prosper against you. Now rise, holy night. Rise, my son." Then Leon rose to his feet, and Yahushua smiled. Leon looked between Yahushua and his new armor in astonishment. As Leon stood admiring the glory of Yahushua, he spoke. "It is written, a sword shall come out of my mouth, and so shall it. Come up and form, thou sword, for now you have a wielder," said Yahushua. Right in front of Leon, a ball of fire appeared, transforming into a glorious sword with a blade made of light blue, diamond-like steel. Yahushua said, "Take my sword, which I have formed with my words of my mouth, for it is thine." Leon took the hovering sword and placed it upon his back. "It is done," said Yahushua. At that moment, a large portal opened, and Leon could see the heavenly realm through the portal. It was unlike anything Leon had seen thus far. He could see the angels praising Yahushua as he walked into the portal. He could hear music more beautiful than words can describe. He could see the walls and the gate of Yah's kingdom, greater in dimension than any structure known to man. Architecture so advanced that it was inconceivable to grasp. He felt the presence of love 10 billion times stronger than a parent's love for their child. The kingdom was sitting in the void of space, with stars above and clouds as its foundations. Yahushua stepped into the portal and ascended back into his kingdom as the portal closed. Standing there in complete amazement, Leon was still in the company of the angel. "It's time, Leon. It's time for you to fly," the angel said. She raised her hand, and the wall of Leon's cell crumbled, making an exit to the outside. Leon took his first steps to freedom, and the angel walked with him. "Look up, Leon," said the angel. Leon looked up as the angel continued speaking. "You see all those stars, Leon? There is not one star in the night sky you cannot fly to, for you can fly faster than light. I will be with you to help you unlock all of your powers, for you do not even understand how powerful Yahushua has made you." Leon looked up to the stars, then the angel. "What is your name?" Leon said. "It is Melisha," said the angel. "Now fly. We have much to do." Leon then crouched to one knee, balled up his fist, and started to feel the power of his armor. He launched himself from the ground of his oppressors, up and up through the night sky, while the angel stayed on the ground. The holy knight looked back down through the crystal crucifix visor of his helmet at the angel, getting smaller and smaller to him as he flew upward into outer space. As the holy knight exited Earth's atmosphere, he flew high enough to see the entire planet. He stopped and beheld the earth and its beauty. Behold the glory of Yah's creation as the armor sparkled in the light of the sun. On this day, the Judah knight was born.